Howdy folks, Nathan here with the 2021 Toyota Corolla sedan. This is the top of the line XSE model. And in this video, we wanted to do a buyer's guide for the 2021 Toyota Corolla. Why? Because there are so many different types. There's a hybrid, there's one that has a manual transmission, there's hatchbacks, sedans, you name it. So we're gonna give you a great, concise buyer's guide coming right up. The Toyota Corolla is one of the most important vehicles to Toyota. It is the best-selling vehicle they build in terms of cars. Now, on top of that, it's one of the best-selling cars in the world. It actually surpassed the Volkswagen Beetle. About every 36 to 37 seconds, somebody buys one of these around the world. No kidding. They've had a variety of different ones. They've had all-wheel drive ones. They've had ones with turbocharged engines. Not these, though. Nope. It's really important to understand that the Toyota Yaris is going away. That's their entry-level model. That means that the base model L version of the Toyota Corolla sedan is now the entry-level model. All right, let's talk about performance. The good news is this vehicle has four-wheel independent suspension. There's no twisting beam rear axle of any sort in the back. Proper independent suspension, which is great for both performance and ride in this vehicle. Now, with the big 18-inch wheels, which you do get in the higher level versions of this car, the ride is slightly compromised because you hear a little bit more noise and you definitely feel a little bit more on the ground. If you get the base level models, the 16-inch wheels, there's a little bit more rubber there, and it's a slightly nicer ride. So let's talk about pricing. Base model starts at $19,825, and that is for the L model. That is your entry-level model, 16-inch wheels, 7-inch screen inside, very basic vehicle. Then you go up to your LE, which is $20,275. Then the hybrid LE not only comes with that trim, and that's $23,400. Then the SE for $22,275. Then there's a Nightshade edition of the SE that comes in at $22,975, and that's basically a trim package that gives you a lot of black stuff, including wheels, badges, and a cool looking spoiler. Then you move up to the XLE for $24,225. And finally, the XSE, which starts at $25,725. As tested, this top-of-the-line XSE model comes in at $29,289. Let's talk about the back seat, because Toyota Corollas honestly have a slightly compromised amount of space in the back seat, especially with headroom. Now, if you get the sedan, you'll find that it actually has more usable space for rear passengers than the hatchback, which is strange because you would think it'd be the other way around. Yeah, I know I'm a big guy, but come on! And at the same time, you have a very large usable trunk with the sedan. The hatchback, although it's more utilitarian, doesn't give you a ton of space, and that has to do with its cool looking design. What you see here is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that puts out 169 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. It's hooked up to a continuously variable transmission that actually has a separate takeoff gear, which is nice. It actually performs a little bit more like a regular automatic transmission. Now, with this setup, you get 31 miles per gallon city and 38 miles per gallon highway. Now, there is a manual transmission available for the sedan as well, but that's only for the SE model. And the good news is you don't lose that much in terms of MPG. It's just a little tiny bit less, about 1 MPG. You can get, in the base model, a 1.8 liter that puts out 139 horsepower and 126 pound-feet of torque, and it only comes with the continuously variable transmission. With that setup, you can get 30 miles per gallon city and 38 miles per gallon highway. And finally, there's the hybrid. Now with the hybrid setup, which has an electric motor hooked up to an Atkin cycle 4-cylinder engine, you get 53 miles per gallon city and 52 miles per gallon highway. The hybrid performance is not too bad, it's adequate. The 1.8 liter, it's slow. The 2 liter, which is in this vehicle, even with the CVT, moves nicely. If you get the manual transmission, it's a lot of fun. It's a very different car in terms of personality, but that transmission, although it's very smooth and fairly easy to shift, isn't as crisp as the ones that were offered in Mazdas or are offered in Hondas. So keep that in mind. But in terms of a proper all-arounder, let's say you want something that's sporty, that's efficient, that has just enough fun to make your commute interesting, then one of these, the manual transmission, is really the way to go. Now, if you're interested in the hatchback version, they start with the SE at $21,390. Then you have the SE Nightshade, once again, lots of black stuff thrown on there, for $22,465. And finally, the top of the line XSE starts at $24,340. By the way, if you want a manual transmission, which is available both on the SE and the XSE with the hatchback, it's about $175 less than the CVT. All right, so what do you get when you buy a Toyota Corolla? Aside from peace of mind and the longevity and all the other stuff that you guys have heard about for years and years and years. Well, what you get nowadays is a much nicer interior than any other previous Corolla. One of the things that they used to do is make really inexpensive vehicles, hence inexpensive interiors. Now the car is a little bit more expensive, but you get a slightly nicer interior. Now this is the aided screen, but the standard screen is 7 inches. With that, you also get heated seats. Now you can see the seat heating controls right here, easy enough, but look way over here and you have the optional wireless charging for your cell phone. Now you have to trigger the power switch in order to feed power into it. It doesn't go automatically. Now, in terms of your screen, what it'll have on the larger one are all your control buttons here. Now this is for not only your audio entertainment, but of course for your map, and that all works here. It's fairly simple to use, but it's not the fastest system out there. Now, this does have the top-end JBL sound system, heating, air conditioning down here. Very simple setup. Actually, fairly nice buttons if you look. Nice little metal finish to them. And, of course, auto, fan speed. Very simple. Steering wheel controls, fairly intuitive. No big deal here either. Now, there is one thing. If you're interested in cruise control with radar cruise control, all of those buttons, including lane departure assist, all of that is right here on this side. From here you have your phone controls, audio controls, and then information up here on your digital display. Keep in mind that this is the higher level model, so the digital display here is different than your entry level models, which don't have this display. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys about Toyota Safety Sense 2.0. Now that comes standard on all models. It comes with pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, which is great if people are walking around you. Lane departure alert with steering assist, automatic high beams, road sign assist, lane tracing assist, full speed range dynamic radar cruise control. Now those are standard from the base model L all the way up. There are a variety of vehicles that do compete with the Toyota Corolla, but the thing is, the competition's shrunk, and that's because automakers like Ford and General Motors and FCA have sort of pulled out of that market. Now you have Honda, of course, with the Civic, you have Hyundai and Kia, and of course Nissan. I kind of like this view best. I think it's great looking, and that rear diffuser, that's pretty cool. And the dual exhaust in the back there, that's kind of sporty, right? All in all, this vehicle, the Toyota Corolla, still represents one of the most important vehicles that Toyota builds. It's one of the most flexible, and it has a lot of options available that the competitors don't have. And at the same time, those competitors have options that this vehicle doesn't have. Kind of interesting. Remember, in the future, Toyota is bringing out even more versions of the Corolla. For the Fast Lane Car, this is Nathan. Don't forget to go to TFL Car, TFL Truck, TFL Off-Road, TFL everything else. And next time, looking forward to taking this on the track and beating it up. I'm kidding.